Welcome to the kitchen, friends. Today we're going to do something kind of fun and I hope it goes well. So we will see how it goes. Chris does not like zucchini and I personally do. I like summer squash and zucchini, things like that. So the other day I was watching Little Hill Homestead on YouTube, and sorry about the cat meowing if you can hear that. And you also might hear we got new baby chicks and they're in the other room for now, in the project room. So you might hear baby chicks in the background too. So I'll do a video about them coming up. Chris says he does not like zucchini. What I'm gonna do is make the recipe from Little Hill Homestead, and it is double chocolate zucchini bread. Chris loves chocolate and is always asking for me to make something chocolatey. So I'm going to make this recipe that she did the other day. We'll get his honest reaction from it. So he doesn't know I'm making it. He doesn't know what's going to be in it. So we'll get his true reaction and we'll see how it goes. You got to sneak in the veggies where you can somewhere, even with the adults. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and shred up the zucchini. So I'm going to get on that. So it only takes a cup and a half of grated zucchini, and I'm going to have way more than that. So what I'm going to do is freeze the rest. Now, I did not grow these in the garden this year. I had some very bad squash vine borers. I was not able to grow anything squashy at all, pumpkins. I actually do have one pumpkin that's still going, so we'll see how that ends up. These extra pieces I'm going to give to the chickens so that they have a fun treat. We'll get this going. All right, so we got way more than I'm probably going to need for this. Take this off real quick. Make sure we got it all. Doing it with the KitchenAid, I got some like little chunkies in here, which I don't want to use in the bread recipe that we're going to do today. So I'll just put those in here with the scraps for the chickens. That's way easier than shredding it by hand, all this by hand. So I'll just take these chunks and the chickens will have a great time with those. All right, we just need a cup and a half of grated zucchini. So I'm going to use my 2-cup measure and do about a cup and a half. And what she said on the Little Hill Homestead YouTube channel was that you do want to retain the moisture and you don't want to pack this down. So I'm not packing it down, just kind of spreading it out a little bit, make sure I've got about a cup and a half, which is great. And then I will just use my freezer bags and freeze the rest of this for something else later. We're going to start with is in this bowl, we're going to mix the flour, cocoa, baking powder, baking soda, and salt all in this bowl here. So we're going to start with the flour, which is 1 1.3 cups of flour. So we're going to start here, fluff up the flour a little bit. And we're going to do 1 1/3 cups of flour. And then we need a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. The next time I buy cocoa, I'm going to buy from As Your Standard and see if I like that a little better. All right, that's a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and baking soda. So 1/2 teaspoon of each. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There we go. Then we're gonna just kind of combine all these together. Go. And one thing I forgot to do was preheat my oven to 350 degrees. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, now that that is on, we want to start mixing together our wet ingredients and our sugar. I'm going to do all this in my KitchenAid. She did not use anything. She just used her hands and tools, but I'm going to use the KitchenAid. So the first thing we're going to add in here is 1 cup of sugar. And our melted butter. 2 eggs. Which I will crack them in a bowl and then put them in. These are eggs from our chickens, so I just want to make sure they look good before I add them in. And I will give the egg shells to the chickens as well. 1 and 2. 2 eggs and vanilla. And it is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I always hear you're supposed to measure vanilla with your heart, but I am not quite there yet to be able to do that. I do on some things, but if it's a recipe I'm not really familiar with, I'm not going to do that. And then the other thing that she actually added in hers that I do not have is chocolate extract to make it extra chocolatey. I don't have that, so I'm going to be omitting that, which she did put that as optional on here. So now we're going to mix this well. Okay, so I gave that a little mix, and now I'm going to add in the zucchini. I'm going to give this a little bit of a mix here. And then I'm going to start adding in my dry ingredients. Now I learned somewhere in the past to add a little bit of your dry ingredients at a time and let it start mixing in. Don't remember where I heard that. Don't know if it really matters, but that's what I do. So I'm going to add about a half of it and give it a good stir. And then I'm going to do the other half. Depending on how much you have, sometimes I'll do it in thirds. And give that a good stir. And I'm going to scrape down the sides real quick and give it another stir. And I love how fast this comes together. So you can make a quick sweet treat with a little bit of hidden vegetables in it. All right. So that already smells lovely, chocolatey, and delicious. All right. Next up, we can get our pan. Okay, so I have my greased pan here, and I'm going to pour this on in. All right, I'm going to spread this out on top and just waiting on the oven to be fully heated up, and we'll get this going. There it is, right on time. This is going to cook for 50 to 60 minutes, and then we will give it a test. So while I was putting everything away, I realized that I had chocolate chips I was going to put in there to make it a double chocolate zucchini bread. I forgot the chocolate chips. So we will either, what I'll probably do is when it comes right out of the oven, I'll sprinkle some on top and it'll kind of melty in there. That'll probably be good. But next time, I will make sure to add it into the batter before I put it in the oven. All right, it's done. So I will let it cool off for about 5 minutes or so. And I love that cracking on the top. So we're gonna let this cool for about 5 minutes or so, and we'll give it a taste test. Let's give this a go. Should probably let it cool a little more, but I'm excited to try it. And warm chocolate beats everything, right? Tastes good. I don't taste any zucchini taste at all. Not the healthiest thing in the world to have, but man, that's pretty good. I like it. I think Chris is talking to his parents right now that live out of the country. So once he's finished talking with them, we'll bring him in here and see what he thinks. So here we are. I have my chocolate bread and we're gonna let Chris test it and see what he thinks. And hopefully he'll give me an honest answer.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Really chocolatey.
Really chocolatey.
Like the crispy end.
The crispy ends of it. Yeah. He likes the crispy ends of it.
But it's delicious.
Awesome. So you want to know what it is? It's a chocolate zucchini bread.
Can't taste it.
Can't taste the zucchini.
All I taste is chocolate.
Chocolate. Good. That was the point.
It's delicious.
Success. Hidden vegetables, success.
Sure.
It's
good.
I told everybody that you didn't like zucchini, but maybe this would hide some vegetables for you.
Yeah, I can't stand zucchini. It's good.